Afternoon, everyone. And I have a guest with me today. We work together. So Norman has joined me. Quick hello, Norman.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I work with Shailan and I work alongside the Power Platform.
Thanks, Norman. So today, and I'm Shailan and today we're going to cover off embedding Power BI into the Power Platform. So far on this kind of, let's say, journey, we have looked at the Power Platform, an overview of the Power Platform. We have looked at Power Apps, we looked at Power Automate, and today we're going to cover Power BI as part of the Power Platform. So not just a standalone solution, so how to embed it within a Power App. So this is really going to be very much a demonstration rather than lots of slides. And I will share and show you on the, through a kind of a demo, Power BI and how it can be embedded. It may be quite a short demo, but we'll cover off quite a few things. So feel free to ask questions in the chat. We can see that coming up. So okay, I'll share the screen. Wait me a second. Perfect. Can you see that, Norman?
I can see the multiple screens at the minute, and I see the Power BI now. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So the first step in terms of integrating, I think, well, first of all, you probably develop a Power BI report. I've created something kind of wow here. So a little a table, in Power BI. I know, Norman, you do a lot better than me, but in terms of getting information in, yes, you can get data from different data sources. I am going to mention something here though. With Power BI, because we haven't covered this part. So within Power BI, although it sits within the Power Platform, when you do something like get data and look at more in terms of the data connections and the data sources, these are not the same as the connectors that we have seen within the Power Platform. So what do I mean? What do I mean by that? So if I go to the Power Platform here and look at connections, we normally set up connections here, so new connections. And when we're developing a Power app or Power Automate, or an Automate Flow, or when we're developing a Power App, these are the connectors that it will use. Whereas it's slightly different with Power BI. There is a list of connectors here. So we're going to cover off connectors in another session, but there are quite a few. So it's not the same as the Power Platform in terms of the connectors. There's a whole list here. Anyway, I have some data already within here. I've got a very simple model. I've got some customer information and some sales information. Now, if I wanted to create a chart or two, so I've got a table, great, I can do that. Let's just take a look at customer name and amount. And again, let's do a quick kind of chart on this, like so, and add that in. Okay, so I'm done with the report, right, for now. We're not going to polish this report up or anything else. What we'd like to do is really get into, well, what's next? How can you get this chart into, the Power Platform, and how can you embed this into a Power App? So the first thing is you need to publish the report, because embedding a Power, BI chart into a Power App will require going via the Power BI service. So this is where we'll publish. So I'll save the report. The report has been saved. And because I've logged in as me, I can now click on one of the workspaces within Power BI. So if I open up Power BI, I go to the actual service, Has that appeared, Norman?
It's just loading.
Okay, cool.
I still see a white screen.
Bit slow on mine as well now. Sorry. Let me go to this one. If I refresh, let's see what it's doing. Not sure if you saw that little glimpse there at the top. It said fabric, for. So okay, so I've launched a browser. I've logged into my Power BI service. Now, under workspaces, you will require a workspace that you can publish the report to. So when you publish the reports, I've just created a workspace called Lunch and Learn. And within this workspace, I've already got the report there, but I will publish it again. So go back to the report, click on this Lunch and Learn workspace and select. And so now it will publish the report. So the thing that I'm going to do is I am actually going to replace the data set. Okay, so if I do replace, it's publishing it. Didn't want to show all that. Sorry, skipping around a bit. Okay, so it's published to the service. If I click on open up, the Power BI report, again, it will launch within the service my Power BI report. Now, what happens is I've actually published it to that workspace, so that's fine. And this is a pro workspace, okay? So you can do this with the pro workspace, you can do it with the premium workspace. We'll cover licensing in a little while as well. Right, there's our quick report. Great. It is great, right, Norman?
That's brilliant.
So, yeah, it's completely interactive and everything else. So the next thing to do is what we're trying to do is get this report into an app. Now, the first thing that is required and what we need to do is now we're on this report, we actually need to create a dashboard from this report. Okay, so that's the way to embed it into an app. So we say pin to a dashboard. Now, if you don't have a dashboard already available, we can actually create a new dashboard. So I'm just going to say my WOW sales dashboard. I'll say pin live. Okay, and if I go to the actual dashboard, there's the dashboard. Okay. So, just to show you, because if you're not familiar with dashboards and and some of the things in Power BI, if I go back to my Lunch and Learn workspace, within the workspace, we now have the report, which is this bit here, sales demo. We have the data set, which is our sales demo data set, and we have this dashboard called this sales dashboard. And this is the actual dashboard. Now, if you have used dashboards before, and even if you haven't, normally you'd have dashboards kind of pinned, and then you can create multiple kind of tiles. These are known as tiles. So what do I mean by tiles? And this is important because if we go back to this report, so got it, and add a new page, and then I create another chart. Let's say, what do we have here? Let's go with date. And amount. And drill down a bit. There we go. Okay, got some dates there. And again, save. Publish. same workspace. Replace. Done. Okay. Go back to our workspace. This one here. Just do a quick refresh. Cool. And then if I go back to our sales demo report, so we've got one dashboard at the moment. Sales demo report. Okay, so there's the next page, right? So we had page 1, page 2. Now on this page here, if I said the same thing, pin this to a dashboard, would I like to pin it to the existing dashboard or a new dashboard? Or I'm going to say the existing dashboard and say pin live, and then go to the dashboard. And what happens is you'll now see, if I scroll down, there are 2 tiles, right? So these are known as tiles. Now you can actually move them about a bit, like so. And okay, thank you. And I'll scroll down, make this a little bit smaller and move that there. Now, these are different tiles, and in this way you can have multiple tiles. This is great for if you have different reports. You'd have a dashboard page with these different tiles, and when you click on it, it actually takes you into the report. Okay, so that's what I wanted to quickly show you, tiles. Okay, now let's get on to the Power Apps piece. So log in to Power Apps. Now remember, we covered this before in the overview. Power Apps, and when you log into Power Apps, you actually go to make.powerapps.com. I've logged into our sandbox environment, and I'm going to click on Apps, and I'm going to create a new canvas-driven app. So brand new app, and I'm going to say Lunch and Learn Power BI Embed. A tablet app. Tablet? Yeah, Norman, go for a tablet one.
I think so. You'll probably have better choice of layout.
Yes, good. Okay, brand new app, blank screen, and this time again we've got multiple screens here. But what we can do is well, first of all, if I actually connected this to some kind of data, which we've seen before, so if I actually connect this to one of our tables, let's say the accounts table in Dataverse. Just want to see if there's any data there. If we insert a data table, do we have any data? Let's just take a look at if we've got any data in here. Okay, let's go with. Yes, okay, we do have some data. I just want to just see if we've got some data there. Right, so now we've connected Dataverse. If we wanted to, let's go with a new screen, like so. Now, if I wanted to insert some kind of chart, if I insert and say chart, well, there are some charts available here. So there are things like some of the standard charts. Now, these standard charts are part of Power Apps. So if I wanted a column chart, yes, I can do that. Click on it and then insert it, create it from Dataverse, right? So I could just connect it to our Dataverse table. So there's some data there already. However, what I'd like to do is create a blank screen, and instead of embedding one of the standard charts, let's embed, and that popped up, Power BI chart. A Power BI chart, and this is what I was saying about tiles. So it actually says Power BI tile. So if I click on Power BI tile, what happens is, because I've logged in as me, remember it's within your tenant. So I've logged in as me on the top right. That's me there. And if I click on workspaces, it'll give me a list of the workspaces that are available to me. And what do I mean by available to me? Because I've logged in as me, you have to make sure. So I'll quickly switch back to Power BI and go to workspaces. you have to make sure that you are a member. So it doesn't make sense on this one because I actually created a workspace. But if you go to workspace access, you have to be a member within workspace access, right? So if I did that and actually allocated that to Norman, sorry, reduce Norman. So I put you in there and say you are an admin as well of this workspace. You can just be a viewer or a member. I'll add you as an admin. If you logged in, Norman, to your Power BI, just see if you can see that workspace. So you have to be a member of the workspace. If I go back to Power Apps, drop down, select Lunch and Learn here. Because this is now not grayed out, that means there is a dashboard available. If it was grayed out, it means that there wouldn't be a dashboard, and so don't fall short of that. And if you think about if you're trying to embed and you say, well, actually, why is it still grayed out? It's because you may not have published a dashboard within that workspace. So I do drop down and it shows my Wow Sales dashboard because I've only got one dashboard within a workspace. And now it gives me tiles. There are 2 tiles because I didn't rename them, right? So now there are 2 tiles available. And that's what I was saying about there are tiles within a dashboard. So if I click on the first one, the Power BI report will now show within Power Apps. Okay. If we do the same thing again on, does it make sense to do it on the same page? Yeah, let's just do it on the same page. Let's do this. Let's insert a new chart. Again, we'll do the same thing, Power BI tile and workspace, Lunch and Learn, dashboard, Wow Sales, come on. And then the second one, Sales Demo. Close that. There's our second tile. Okay, so that's what we're saying about the 2 different tiles. Once it's done, you can actually publish this now. So by publishing this app, the content will be a live demo, right? So live demo, it'll be a live dashboard because you pinned it as a live dashboard. So the content, will reflect within your Power App. But just to show you what it looks like, if I play this app, it's not great, is it? Because I should have just had one. But anyway, don't worry. So if, all of the functionality that you have within Power BI, so things like if I click on here, click on there, click on this, click on that, things that you normally had within Power BI is still available. Yep. So, but recommendations, we'd probably recommend, there's no real best practice, okay, but we'd probably recommend maximize the screen, because if your dashboard's quite big, maximize the screen. If you're going to have some buttons, etc., on top, do that. If you can have a scroller with a container, you absolutely do that, because it looks a lot nicer when you see a full chart, right, like this, and then you can interact with it.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the ways of embedding Power BI. Another way which you can embed, and this is just to mention, if we go back to our Power BI dashboard, when you're on an actual dashboard, you can actually get a link, right? So I can share this with other people in your organization, but you can also get a link for, I'll click on a page. You can embed this, right? So from a report to, yes, you can do SharePoint, but the other one is to a website, right? So if you want to do public, that's just like preview it, just to publicly see. Now, but if you embed it to a website, and a lot of people ask, like, can you have Power BI charts that other people can look at because they're not within our organization? Yes, you can. Yes, you'd have to embed it to a website. A login will be required. You can embed, so then it logs in as a different user. But what it does do and require is a Power BI account. If you don't want that, you actually want true external access, then you're looking at something like Power BI dedicated and Power BI premium features. Okay, so those are dedicated capacity premium features to have true external access. Otherwise, Power BI is very much internal. But if you go into this and say, generate a URL, then yeah, you can take this URL and you can actually take that URL. Norman, if I actually share with you, okay, share that with you, okay? You can give it a quick test if you wanted to. Let's see if you can see it, because you're a member of the workspace. But that's, so if you take that, you can actually take that URL that I just copied, and that's another way from within the Power Platform here to embed a URL, and then that's accessed like a kind of a website access to it. So what we've kind of seen at the moment and what we've covered is, yes, developing a report. Perfect. Thanks, Norman. Yeah, developing a report, publishing it. The key things, though, are publishing to a workspace as a dashboard, and it's the tile that it will look for if you're not generating an embed code. Yeah, so once that's done within Power Platform, like so, and within Power Apps, it's inserting a Power BI tile and then inserting that chart. Cool. Was that okay, Norman, on that one?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So I was going to say, you've got some experience of developing lots of Power BI reports and dashboards, etc. I was going to ask you on the dashboard, from a dashboard perspective, Norman, what have you kind of seen? Have you seen lots of different dashboards or single dashboards and tiles? And I'll stop presenting because then we'll cover off licensing.
I've seen a lot of dashboards, yeah. One of the main dashboards that I actually put together was just to show you the refresh times of all reports in a single workspace at a glance. That was pretty useful when you want to just make sure that the data is actually updating. So you can, not just the refresh times, but what is the latest data and when does that come from? That was a pretty good dashboard. I liked it. I had a lot of tiles on that one from a lot of different. So yeah, we mentioned earlier, you can make those tiles from a single report, but you can also just add them from multiple reports to the same dashboard, which is what we had there.
Yeah. Cool. Nice. Thanks, Norman. I was going to just cover off licensing because there is an impact on licensing. So if you embed Power BI within a Power App, you not only will you need a Power Apps license, because you need that anyway, but yes, a Power BI license will be required as well, because you're moving across, right? So it's actually embedding the Power BI charts, dashboard. So a Power BI license will be required. So in terms of licensing, yes, you can use the Power BI Pro license, premium license. If you embed the URL, then again, you can use a Pro or premium. But if you wanted that external outside of Power Apps, from a true kind of, let's say, website, then again, a Power BI license is required. But if you wanted multiple users and accessing Power BI reports, then it's that dedicated, Power BI premium stroke dedicated features of Power BI. Yeah. So I think with that, what we've done is just we've embedded it. I've covered off licensing. Any questions from anyone? I can't see any other questions coming up. There was one on licensing there. One on general, just Power BI licensing. General Power BI licensing. Power BI is licensed from a pro perspective, a premium perspective, but also part of Office 365. So if you have Office 365 E5, then you actually have Power BI Pro. If not, you can license it separately as well. Okay, so you can have Power BI as a separate license outside of Office 365. Yeah, because lots of people have Office 365, maybe a different variant, so E3, for example, and that's when you may require Power BI. So yes, anybody accessing Power BI will require a license. And I'll end with, if I just go back to and present. Sorry, Norman, let me know if you can see this, okay? 1 second.
Yeah, of course.
You should pop up now.
There we go. Something's happening. There we go.
Ah, excellent, thank you. So within Power BI, that's me, that's logged in with a pro license. Start trial, if you see that, start trial is premium. Yeah, if I'd like to actually start premium, which is another important kind of piece here of information. When you look at a workspace, so if I go back to our Lunch and Learn workspace and look at the workspace settings, a workspace can be either a pro or a premium, right? So if you have a premium workspace, so this is a pro workspace, but if this workspace is premium, everybody accessing this workspace will require a premium license. Yeah, so it's another thing that we've seen with other organizations where accidentally they've got premium, but not everyone may have premium. So, but everyone will be required to have premium if they were to access this workspace, which is a premium workspace. Right. I'll stop sharing. Can you see me? Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Norman, thanks a lot. Yeah. Anything else?
Thanks,
Anything else you want to add on embedding or anything else there?
I think just one thought for the future is that there's, I think, multiple ways to do different things. So when we're embedding those tiles into the app, I think there may be another way of copy and paste and change the data link to relate to the new tile or the other tile.
Yeah. You can do that. Cool. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Hopefully it's been useful. And thank you, Norman.
Thanks, Shailan, for having me on.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Take care.